How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be doing a look at my movie haul for the month of December 2022. Really crazy that 2022 is wrapping up already. Fingers crossed for 2023. But anyway, I like to do these movie hauls so that I have some sort of record of what's going into my collection. It's quite big and I like to have some way to document it. But also, hey, movie hauls are fun. And this being December, Christmas haul. I'm a really easy person to shop for Christmas because I'm a movie geek and I'm going to ask for a bunch of movies. So I do have, I think, 5 of those new movies on Blu-ray. Pretty cool stuff. But another collection in here is I got a bunch of the Philip K. Dick movies I was missing. Philip K. Dick, an American sci-fi writer, and his stories have been turned into stuff like Blade Runner, Total Recall, Minority Report, and I had a bunch of his movies already, so I decided to see what other ones I can find, try to collect them all up, and now I have most of them. There's like 1 or 2 that I'm still missing, Confessions of Barrow and Radio Free Albemarle, but for the most part my Philip K. Dick collection is complete with these last few movies here, so we'll show you Christmas, we'll show you Philip K. Dick, and then we're gonna get into some other stuff that I just happened to pick up as well. These hauls always have some random movies. That includes some clearance stuff, $2, and also some shark movies. Always got to prepare for the summer, Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle taking a closer look at the new movies I picked up for December 2022, and let's start off with the ones I asked for Christmas. So these are a lot of newer movies. I think they all, except for maybe the last one, came out in 2022. So yeah, brand new stuff, new big movies, and I think for these first 5 I do have solo reviews for all of them. But starting off with Scream, this is the 5th one, the new one that just came out this January, and I thought this was a pretty fun movie, really cool. It's the first sequel without Craven in it, and yeah, it's not, absolutely mind-blowing, but overall, a really solid entry for what could have been just a cash grab, and I liked it, and it also has Jenna Ortega in it, who would go on to be Wednesday, so her career got really big, I also do love this sticker, all new movie with killer bonus content. You do that whole, the sequel has the same title type deal, you kinda gotta go, hey guys, this is actually a new movie here. Flip it to the back, there's Ghostface and some pictures in the shattered glass. Cool motif, really feels kind of like a 90s motif there. And we'll go ahead and slide it out of its case. Once again, the same image, and then we have the disc. And out of all these new ones, Scream is the only one that's just Blu-ray. All the others were Blu-ray DVD combo packs, but Scream is just a Blu-ray, pretty standard blue disc. Yeah, and man, if you didn't have it in the box, you'd have to, I guess, read the tiny writing to try to figure out if this is Scream 1 or 5, huh? But also, I took the digital code out, because it's mine. Anyway, so Scream is the first one. Pretty cool. Lots of slashers this year, and lots of new entries in big series. But anyway, after that, a movie that I really did like, Nope, from director Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele, Key and Peele, a funny comedian. Then it got out he was making a horror movie, and of course everyone was interested to see what he would do. Get Out was a classic, and I've liked his other films as well. I still think Get Out was the best one, but this was a really fun sort of what's in the sky type alien movie. So, there's some sort of saucer hovering above this small horse ranch in the outskirts of California, and they begin to try to hunt for it and get it on film. A really fun movie, especially if you're into that, what's in the sky type genre of science fiction. And flip it to the back, and we get the shape of the saucer chasing after this horse, and a fair bit of bonus content there, it looks like. Yeah, 56-minute shadows, the making of Nope. I really like when they're that big, But anyway, take it out of its box and open it up. And I do like, so DVD, Blu-ray, big Blu-ray logo on the bottom. But look what they did. The hole in the disc is the O in Nope. That's pretty clever and fun, So you're going to have a big hole there on the disc? Yeah. Go ahead and stylize that. Make it into the O. But yeah, a fun movie. And also, the little streamers on the side are hanging off of the O as well. That's pretty cool. And the last one I have with the slipcase is Pearl. Pearl is a prequel to X. Now, that being said, I already bought X. X was one of the bigger ones that I bought by myself when it first came out. Pearl came out later. This movie is about the killer from X when she was younger, and, sort of what triggered her insanity. And overall, a really good character study. It's less of a slasher than the first one, but still a really good and really well acted. And it was so cool to get a movie and its prequel coming out in the same year. Really a kickstart to the franchise. But yeah, Mia Goth does really well in this movie. But you have the X behind her on this barn to kind of remind you that they're connected. An Extraordinary Origin Story, a film by Ty West, and Mia Goth's name is up there. And then we see her praying on the back in a list of the special features. And let's go ahead and take it out of its box there. And we get the blue disc with white and the white disc with blue. So, pretty simple, but I do like how they're not exactly the same thing. This is A24 there. Anyway, moving on to the next couple. I have two more in my Christmas haul, but that being said, they don't have the slip cases. Not all the new ones, you can't always find them with slip cases, but this was a really good one from this year. The Black Phone with Ethan Hawke. And this is from the guy that did Sinister and Doctor Strange. What was his name? Scott Derrickson. And also based on a story by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. And this guy, he's the grabber, and he's going to be kidnapping children in the 1970s. And it's a really tight sort of thriller. This kid's locked in the basement, and there's the title Black Phone there, and he's getting phone calls from the ghost of all the other kids that didn't make it, and has to use those phone calls as sort of clues as to what's hidden in the basement and how he can potentially get out. A really tight thriller. Ethan Hawke is great. He's got this mask on, and the mask, I think, was actually made by Tom Savini, so pretty cool stuff there. And there he is again on the back. Bonus includes deleted scenes, answering the call, behind the scenes featurette, Ethan Hawke, and a commentary and more. So that's pretty cool. And go ahead and crack this open, and we get the Blu-ray and DVD set. Blu-ray is shiny, DVD is much more of a red color. Still got the red in the Blu-ray too, though. So last one, after this we have one more. The last one in my Christmas haul. Really glad to finally get this. This is a bit of an older one. Ghostbusters Afterlife, the third in the main Ghostbusters continuity, about the grandson and granddaughter rather of Egon, and they're moving into his old house, and there is something that he was trying to stop that now that he's gone is going to try to break out. And overall, I thought this was pretty fun. the main girl in this movie, you know, it's got a lot of humor behind it. It is kind of funny to focus on what's essentially the Egon parallel this time around. And, oh, also, Paul Rudd's really great, and we get Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. But yeah, you know, really sentimental at times, but also still really funny. We get these nice little mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. Those are cool. And overall, I thought it was a pretty good, you know, legacy sequel. And I'm looking forward to see what they do next with Ghostbusters. We get the back there with more of the mini puffs, the bonus feature, and the van there. Or, not van, the Ecto-1. Anyway, crack it open, and we get to see the Blu-ray has the picture of the mini puffs on it. The DVD is still just going to be shiny there, but really do love these little characters. Those are really fun. But anyway, that's the end of the Christmas haul. Now we move on to the Philip K. Dick section. And the first is the movie Paycheck. Now, these Philip K. Dick ones, I've been reading their source material, so I'm really excited to get to the movies. Paycheck was a really fun story. Basically, you had this guy that agrees to work for 2 years, but at the end of the 2 years, he's going to have his memory wiped. So he doesn't remember what he did during that time. But when he wakes up, he's found that he struck a deal where instead of getting all this money he was promised, he's gotten a bag of junk. And he's like, why did my other self agree to take this as payment? But then the seemingly random items happen to be stuff that he really needs coming up in the near future. So he has to figure out what's going on and how did his past self know he would need all this stuff. The short story is really fun, and I'm really looking forward to what the movie's going to turn out being like. You know, we got Ben Affleck, Aaron Eckhart, and Uma Thurman there. Anyway, crack it open. There's the disc. I bought this used. I don't know if this clear case is supposed to go with it, but that's what they had when it was used. Anyway, after Paycheck, we have the rest of the next couple of these are Blu-ray. The Adjustment Bureau, based on The Adjustment Team by Philip K. Dick. And this is about this guy, and he uncovers that reality is being adjusted by this secretive team of people that are sort of shaping the world's future through this, you know, hidden sort of changes in the world they're making, you know. So he goes into his office building when he's not supposed to be there, and everything's frozen and they're changing things, you know. So a really great concept. The movie is a little... the movie focuses more on a love story, and in turn, it is kind of silly, the fact that the Adjustment Bureau is trying to, you know, keep Matt Damon from being, you know, on his dates and stuff. So yeah, a little on the sillier side, but a fun movie, and overall I did like it. This one I already put out the review for, so if you want to see that, it should be on the channel. So yeah, this one I already have the review up for, and I'm hoping to get to the others pretty soon. I'm thinking my Philip K. Dick series will be pretty early on in 2023, so January, February, try to knock out a bunch of these. There's the back with the two of them and his hat, and we crack it open, and we get to see the artwork, but without the characters and the guy's shadow going up the building. After that, we have a double pack, Impostor and Final Encounter. Impostor's the Philip K. Dick one. This guy, he gets arrested, and they say that he's been replaced by a robot with a bomb inside of it, and that they have to kill him because he's gonna explode. And he insists the robot never got to him and never replaced him, but they say if he was the robot, he wouldn't know. And that's a really interesting concept, and the whole time you're wondering if he is or not. I read the short story. It was really fun. I'm really looking forward to watching the movie. I was really lucky to find it. From what I gather, this is one of the harder to find ones. But it's on this double pack with a movie called Final Encounter, which I don't know terribly much about. my copy, this is not in the hall, but I have a copy of Screamers that's in a triple pack with some other movies. I think one of them's like The 13th Floor or something. And I mean, overall with, multi-packs, you do get more movies in the pack, which is good. But yeah, now I'm gonna have Final Encounter hanging out in my Philip K. Dick collection when it really doesn't go there. But hey, I'll probably watch this one as well, but I really know nothing about it. So if you guys know Final Encounter, go ahead and tell me in the comments. But we get the big stuff for them on the back. Really love how huge they made the logos. And both of them, this is their first time on Blu-ray, both from Miramax. And they are both on one Blu-ray. So, I don't know, Blu-rays are huge. I guess they can hold 2 movies just fine. But yeah, it's kind of funny. First time on Blu-ray, but then they're both shoved on one disc. So, yeah, quite literally inseparable there. Yeah, though, I really... Impostor is just such a fun concept. I really want to see it. But anyway, last of the Philip K. Dick ones, we have the remake of Total Recall. I watched through Total Recall kind of recently. I had to pause it to go do work, and I really want to finish it. But man, Total Recall, the first one, was really, really good. And it really, I feel, kind of gets understated because they're like, it's just a fun action movie, whatever. But man, no, the first Total Recall was great. The remake, I saw it when it came out, and I don't remember too much about it. Some people say, this is one that's getting a little bit of a reappraisal recently, and they say if you take it for its own thing and try not to think about the original, that it's better. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't remember too much about this, but I haven't seen it since it first came out. But I did take care to pick out the extended director's cut. I always want to give movies their fair shake, and in turn, maybe the director's cut is way better. I think it's like, flip it to the back here. Let's see if I can find it. Sorry, I need to get this closer to my eyes. But I think it's like 10 minutes longer or something. Extended cut different from the... Man, where do they always hide runtimes when you're looking for them. Oh, yeah. Theatrical cut, 118 minutes. Director's cut, 130. So that's 12 minutes longer. That could be significant, I don't know. But anyway, we do have the 2-disc, and I think this one is the extended cut. They're really not clearly labeled, but that one has a PG-13 on it. And then in the back, we get the shiny DVD copy. But I do like the different artwork, and there's even artwork behind here of him with the gun. So I do like this presentation. And even if with the director's cut, it probably won't be as good, but at least I got a really good release of it. So with what I already have, that pretty much, I have most of the Philip K. Dick stuff, so that series is coming. Moving on after this is the other random stuff that doesn't really fit in the series. Starting off, one of the Alfred Hitchcocks I didn't have. Alfred Hitchcock's Easy Virtue. Flip it to the back and it talks about how there's a woman who divorces her husband but can't quite escape the horrific past. And this is one of his earlier movies, but the back says it's kind of like an early classic. I'm trying to collect all the Hitchcocks, but boy, did he make a lot of movies. And there's the disc. I always find it kind of funny with Hitchcock, is the releases of his movies nowadays, rather than being things from the movie, a lot of times the DVDs just have a picture of him on the front. Such an iconic, as a director. But yeah, him leaning over this coffin with a lady inside, so wondering how that one's gonna go. After that, an After Dark original. I've reviewed a few After Dark movies. They quite famously did the Horror Fest. After the Horror Fest, they had this line of original films, and this one actually has Lance Hendrickson in it, and it's called Scream of the Banshee, and it talks about how at a university they find this box and they open it up and hear the Banshee scream, and standard curse movie, they start to get picked off one by one and have to figure out how to beat the curse. Probably okay. Always cool to see Lance Hendrickson. There's the disc, is pretty standard. Always cool to see Lance Hendrickson, although I know he did do quite a few Paycheck movies, and this is probably one of those. But yeah, adding that to the After Dark collection, I have a lot of the After Dark originals now. I have actually a lot of the After Dark movies, so kind of grabbing up the last few and hopefully complete, well, the Horrorfest and the originals. Then they did a bunch of other obscure films, but at least get close to finishing those off. But anyway, after that, 2 shark movies. The Asylum's Mega Shark vs. Kolossus, and this was the last one in the Mega Shark series I needed. It was by far the hardest one to find, but yeah, the Asylum did 4 of these Mega Shark movies, Giant Octopus, Crocosaurus, and Mecha Shark, but you also had Kolossus here, and that's why I hadn't started on this series in the previous Sharks of Summers, because I didn't want to get most of the way through it and then not be able to wrap it up in one summer. But now that I have all 4 of them, I'm hoping to do that series during Sharks of Summer pretty soon. So yeah, the last Mega Shark movie I needed, by the Asylum, who also did Sharknado and Two-Headed Shark Attack. And yeah, Kolossus appears to be some kind of giant robot. So I think it looks pretty cool, although I think I have heard that this is one of the weaker ones in the series. And there's the disc there with the text on the side. Anyway, moving right along, one more shark movie, and this one's called Red Water. And yeah, I actually I'm thinking about reviewing this around July, because I have the Shudder movie Great White, and then I also have the movie Blue Demon, so I have kind of a red, white, and blue for sharks now, and I think that'd be kind of funny to do that around the 4th, right? But yeah, big, striking red cover, and we flip it to the back, and it talks about how there's a shark, and it's not supposed to be in fresh water, but it is, and I think it's another bull shark movie. But there's like a natural gas corporation and criminals looking for treasure, and your main characters are like shark hunters. So, sounds pretty standard shark movie fare, but I'll check it out. It's got Coolio in it. Anyway, there's the disc. Pretty similar to the front, but the red is toned down, more shadows. So yeah, another one for my giant shark movie collection. I'm looking at it off to the side here, quite a few of them. After that, random pull, I have an anime series, Ungo. I found this at a local used media store, primarily a bookstore. They were selling it for only $7 though, and it has the whole series, which is, I think, only 10 episodes and then a bonus episode 0. But for I kind of like when they're shorter series and I can watch them all really quick. And it's something like a detective that's in sort of a post-apocalyptic Japan or something, and he has like a supernatural sidekick of some kind. I don't know. I like detective mysteries. I haven't watched too many lately, so I don't know. Just a fun little anime series to throw on. Really short, post-apocalyptic detective stuff. Yeah, I don't know much about this, but I figured for $7, why not? You know, I like that the whole thing's all in one place too. So 3 discs, and they all look like different characters from the series there. So yeah, I know next to nothing about it. Kind of a random pull. Hey, the Zach from the future here. I finished shooting the video and I realized I forgot one Blu-ray accidentally missed the pile that I took in to shoot. So just gonna cut to this clip really quick. And yeah, I did pick up Terrifier 2 as well. I really liked the first All Hallows Eve movie, and I really liked Terrifier, so I really was wanting to pick up the sequel. Sadly, the Blu-ray didn't come out till well after Halloween, so I will probably review this one, but probably closer to next Halloween. But yeah, Art the Clown, classic grunge throwback movie. I've heard really good things about it if you're into violent insanity. But anyway, there's the front with this really nice painting of Art, and I think that's the movie's heroine. And we even get a quote, Terrifier 2, grossing you out old school, from Stephen King himself there. That's pretty great. There's Art on the back there, looking creepy as ever, and some bonus features, behind the scenes, extended Boo Crew interview, director's commentary, and some art. But anyway, one thing I do also like with this is here's the box, the slipcase, but you slide that out, and you get a whole new cover where he looks much, this one looks much more like an evil being, But yeah, I do like the alternate cover there. She is again, and there's the quote. Open this up, and we get the disc, which is a black disc with the logo on it there. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. So yeah, without further ado, back to past Zach to get the rest of these movies. But anyway, I end with, as I often do, the clearance movies, and I only have 2 of them, but the first one was a movie I was really glad to get when it came to clearance. $2 for the Blu-ray of Edge of Tomorrow, or as they're trying to rename it, Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah, the movie's called Edge of Tomorrow, but apparently they wanted to get the idea across better. Basically, Tom Cruise gets some special alien blood, and he has the ability to, when he dies, repeat the day over again. So like Groundhog, but an action movie where he's fighting aliens. Groundhog Day, I think it just said Groundhog. But yeah, it's like Groundhog Day, but a sci-fi action movie. It's got Emily Blunt in it, who was also in the Adjustment Bureau. But yeah, I remember this being pretty fun, kind of an underrated one, But yeah, I'm not the hugest Tom Cruise fan, but I think this is one of his better recent movies. I really did like it. Cool tech and suits and stuff. The discs are pretty simple DVD Blu-ray. I do like how many Blu-rays are combo packs now. And the last one more clearance item. It was also $2, and this is my random pull of the episode because I really know nothing about it. It's a movie called Dorothy Mills, and it talks about this psychologist. There was a murder, and they think they know who committed the murder, but it turns out that she might be possessed, actually. You flip it to the front, and it says, a contemporary take on The Exorcist, and we got her creepy portrait staring at you there. So yeah, I really don't know much about it. It is $2. It was a clearance item, so kind of a random pull. We do have the case not in the best condition with this cut here and this tear on the front that, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to slap it in one of my spare cases. Open it up, and we get to see this sort of down the pathway, and I'm guessing that's the killer there. But yeah, always gotta love random pulls. I really need to do a marathon of all these random pulls and just see what they're all about. So anyway, Christmas section, Philip K. Dick section, other stuff section. Overall, I think that was 16 total items, with the highest percentage of Blu-rays that we've had so far in one of these, with 5, 3, and 1, so that would be 9 total Blu-rays. Actually, I think that must mean there's more than 16. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. No, it's 16. I counted right the first time. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my movie hauls playlist. if you want to see, I've done this series for the past 2 months, I believe. If you want to see those videos, as well as a bunch of other movie hauls, you can click right there and find those. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Hauls playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.